The day your investment account crosses $100,000, something shifts, and I don't mean emotionally, though that happens too. The math literally starts working differently. Your annual return at 7% is now $7,000. That's $583 per month appearing in your account without a single additional contribution. For the first time, your money is contributing as much to your growth as a part-time job would. You haven't changed anything. The base got large enough that compounding started showing up in a way that actually feels real. Here's what changes concretely. At $50,000 invested at 7%, your annual return is $3,500 and you contribute, say, $12,000 per year through savings. You're adding $15,500 per year, of which 77% comes from you. At $200,000 invested, returns at 7% are $14,000 per year. You contribute $12,000. You're adding $26,000 per year, of which 54% comes from the market and 46% from you. At $500,000, you contribute $12,000 and the market returns $35,000. You're adding $47,000, of which 74% comes from compounding. Your labor became a minority contributor to your own wealth growth. The psychological shift is equally significant. Before $100,000, a 10% market correction means your portfolio dropped $5,000 to $8,000. Painful, but recoverable by adding more. After $100,000, a 10% correction means a $10,000 to $20,000 drop visible in your account. After $300,000, a 10% drop is $30,000, more than you may contribute in an entire year. People who haven't mentally prepared for this sell during corrections and lock in losses permanently. The same behavior that built wealth, buying consistently, needs to continue through these moments, and it gets harder as the numbers get bigger. Asset allocation becomes more important after $100,000 because diversification errors matter more at scale. In the early phase, being 100% in equities is generally appropriate. You have time to recover from volatility and need maximum growth. As your portfolio grows past $200,000 to $300,000, introducing international equity exposure, bonds, and real assets creates a more resilient portfolio. A 90% stock, 10% bond allocation smooths volatility without dramatically sacrificing long-term returns. The exact allocation depends on your timeline to retirement and personal risk tolerance. Tax optimization becomes a priority at this scale. Tax loss harvesting, selling losing positions to offset gains, becomes viable when you have enough in a taxable brokerage account. Roth conversions, moving traditional IRA funds to Roth in lower income years, can save six figures in taxes over a lifetime if done strategically. Backdoor Roth contributions become relevant if your income exceeds the Roth IRA income limits. None of these were worth prioritizing at $30,000. At $300,000, they can be worth more than your annual contribution. Insurance adequacy, boring but genuinely critical at this wealth level, needs a review. You now have assets worth protecting. Umbrella liability insurance covers you for $1 million or more of liability for approximately $200 to $350 per year, covering scenarios where car accidents, property incidents, or personal liability could otherwise wipe out your accumulated net worth. If you own a home or rental property, an umbrella policy is one of the most cost-efficient purchases in personal finance. You've spent years building $100,000, spend $300 per year to protect it. The path to the next milestones, $250,000 and $500,000. The timeline accelerates because the base is larger. From $100,000 at $1,000 per month contributions and 7% returns, you reach $250,000 in approximately 8 years. But the second $150,000 takes only 6 years, less time than the first $100,000 took to accumulate. The third $250,000 takes less still. Each milestone builds on the last with increasing momentum. What felt impossibly slow in the early phase becomes compellingly fast at scale. This is why people who stick with it describe wealth building as accelerating once it starts moving. At $100,000, you should reassess your fee exposure. Are you in actively managed funds charging 0.5 to 1.5% annually? At $100,000, a 1% fee costs you $1,000 per year. At $500,000, it costs $5,000 per year. At $1 million, it costs $10,000 per year. Switching to index funds at 0.03 to 0.05% expense ratios at this milestone can save you hundreds of thousands over a retirement timeline. The math of low-cost investing is compelling at any level. It becomes dramatically important when your balance reaches six figures. Estate basics become relevant at this wealth level, not because you're dying tomorrow, but because your assets now have value that should transfer cleanly if something happens. A basic will, beneficiary designations updated on all accounts, and a power of attorney document costs $300 to $1,000 through an estate attorney and takes one afternoon. Without beneficiary designations on retirement accounts, those assets go through probate, a process that can take a year, cost thousands, and potentially trigger tax events that your beneficiaries could have avoided with a one-page form. Crossing $100,000 is the moment the game changes. Your money starts working as hard as you do. The compounding feels real. The next milestones come faster. Don't celebrate by relaxing the habits that got you there. Intensify them now that they're working more efficiently. If you want to understand what retirement actually looks like at different wealth levels, my video on early retirement and the FIRE math shows you exactly what the numbers need to be before you can actually stop. Check that out next.